We talk a lot about moving from just plain communication tools to engagement and workflow. AxxOmni is going to do that. Can you kind of share with everybody what we mean when we say that?
I like that word engagement. It is a single pane of glass for anyone to communicate with you in your business. And it doesn't matter in what form it comes in. If that's a voice call, it's a fax, text message, comes in through a web chat, WhatsApp, Facebook, you name it, all of those individual channels, we want to bring that in. And we want to make it easy for your customers to communicate with you. And then, again, bringing it together on one screen. And then we have a whole bunch of really cool stuff that we're going to do afterwards. And I can get into all that. But that's where it starts. And from the simplicity standpoint of bringing it all into a single pane of glass, you have a lot of providers out there that, it might take like 6 months to implement to bring that to market. And it does require a heavy lift on customers and a lot of additional work. And that's not something that my customers really need or have time to do right now. So we have a plan and a process that's going to allow us to get you off the ground, get those customers with that single pane of glass, connect to all those various ways and make it super easy.
So, internally, we talk a lot about Axon. Can you describe what Axon is?
AxxOmni is just that. It is the ability for anyone to come in to your ecosystem to communicate with you. And with that, we want to add some intelligence and some tracking capabilities because every conversation is an opportunity, because you're speaking to a potential customer or one of your customers to make something happen, right? So you don't want just a call to come in and then that's done. So we have a ticketing platform. Everything is more like an event. You can call it an event that you has its own status. Like, yep, we solved everything, or we didn't solve everything. It's also about trying to bring in historical information. So someone calls in, hey, when was the last time you had a conversation with them? How many issues? Are they happy or sad? So how do you come to that conclusion? Well, you're going to add a little bit of AI there to interpret that data. So at a moment's notice, whoever's trying to reach out to you, you're going to have a feeling of what the call is about, what the temperature is of that customer, so you can know how to forge ahead.
So, as we think about this again internally, because we're going to talk shortly about externally, internally, how do we differentiate Axe from Axe Assist Web?
So X Chat is more of a communications via text, MMS, and that's just a enterprise grade platform for communicating with your internal folks or externally. There's been a lot of rules that have come in from like 10 DLC. You have to opt in. There's the opt out clauses, and a lot of things like that that you have to adhere to. Again, we're all about making it simple. We want to be able to roll these things out, make sure everyone's following all the rules, and then we branded that under the Axe Chat. Now, the Axe AI Assist, that is part of our Axe Omni suite, and you can have these individual components added to your system. So you have the AI voice, so it's a voice agent that can be like an auto attendant. It could also be, almost like someone who's just an assistant. So taking, your messages, maybe scheduling a meeting for you, a lot of really cool workflow that we can add there. The AI web chat is like what you will find on a lot of web servers and that are websites, and that is your ability to, get some questions answered about products, and it's about feeding it with the right information. And again, we're all about making it simple because it's all about the prompting that goes into building them up. So they stay within the guardrails that you're setting forth. They're not just hallucinating and maybe just talking about your competitors when they shouldn't be. They're talking about you, and that's the most important thing. So we help you get that because starting with a blank canvas, there's just a lot of work and it's a bit overwhelming.